Hi, I am Jamie Moyer and I researched poverty effects on children. What is poverty? I looked the word online at Merriam-Webster.com and it defined poverty as the state of one who lacks a usual or socially acceptable amount of money or material possessions. In the book Teaching with Poverty in Mind by Eric Jensen, he defines poverty as any persons with income less than that deemed sufficient to purchase basic needs, food, shelter, clothing, and other essentials. I found some poverty statistics in the U.S. from APA.org. The first statistic I found is poverty rate in 2010 was 15.1%. This is an increase from 14.3% in 2009 and the highest level since 1993. The poverty line is 22,314 for a family of 4, and 15% of the population is below this line. Children under 18 living in poverty was at 22% in 2010, which is up from 20.7% in 2009. And 7 out of 10 children living with a single mother are poor or from a low-income family. And according to our text, 7% of children receive no health care, and the majority of these children live in poverty. Eric Jensen described 6 types of poverty in his book. The first one is situational poverty. It is caused by an abrupt crisis or loss of job or family member and is often temporary. Some examples are natural disasters, divorce or death in the family, health issues in the family. Generational poverty shows up when at least 2 generations have been born into the poverty. These families in poverty are not equipped to get themselves out of the cycle of poverty. Absolute poverty exists because there is a scarcity of shelter, food, and running water. This is one that is rare in the United States. Relative poverty causes families to not have a sufficient income to meet society's average cost of living. Urban poverty occurs in cities with at least 50,000 people. This includes unlivable buildings, but families live in the buildings anyway. Overcrowding in areas, violence in the area, and a lot of noise. Rural poverty occurs in rural areas with a population of less than 50,000 people, and these families have less access to services, less support for disabilities, and less quality education opportunities. What are the effects of poverty? In general, substandard housing, homelessness, inadequate nutrition and food security, lack of access to health care, unsafe neighborhoods, abuse and neglect, and inadequate child care. Poverty and academic achievement. Poor academic achievement, less concentration and memory, school dropout, development delays, under-resourced schools, and this inadequate education for these children contributes to the cycle of poverty. More effects. Poverty and psychosocial outcomes. Behavioral and emotional problems, impulsiveness, difficulty getting along with others, aggression, ADHD, anxiety, depression, low self-esteem, and violence exposure. The poverty and physical health, low birth weight in babies, poor nutrition, less areas for play or sports, asthma, anemia, pneumonia, smoking, engaging in early sexual activity, exposure to environmental contaminants, and exposure to violence. When I was looking for Eric Jensen's book on Amazon, I found A Mind Shaped by Poverty, 10 Things Educators Should Know by Regina Rawlinson. She was in poverty as a child and has a lot of insight on what a child in poverty needs. Here are 5 things that I found in her book and I thought would help when teaching children from poverty. Children from poverty need access to teachers who will help when asked, access to counselors when they need to talk, and access to healthy meals that they might not get at home. The first 3 needs are all needs of every developing child, and children from poverty probably don't get that support at home. The next one is access to a challenging curriculum and access to teachers who set high standards and help students achieve the standards. The last 2 are classroom challenges for teachers, and I think these would help the children use their brain and maybe get them to college so they can get out of the cycle of poverty. This concludes my peer teaching on poverty effects. Thank you.